December 4th, 1872. The Atlantic Ocean is entirely calm. The British merchant ship De Gracia spots another vessel drifting silently across the water. It is the Mary Celeste. The captain of the De Gracia sends a small boarding party to investigate. They climb aboard and find absolute silence. There is no captain, no crew, no passengers. 10 people have vanished without a trace, yet the ship appears fully functional. There is enough fresh water and food below deck to last 6 months. The crew's clothing is still neatly packed away, and expensive personal belongings sit exactly where they were left. Of all the possessions on board, only a specific set of items is missing. The captain's navigation instruments and the single lifeboat are gone. The daily official record of the ship's journey, the logbook, has also been removed. Ships of this size require constant steering to stay upright in the ocean swells. Experienced sailors do not abandon a fully stocked, functional vessel unless staying on board is more dangerous than drifting in a lifeboat. For a century and a half, the mystery invited theories of pirate raids and violent mutinies. But pirates are motivated by profit. They take cargo and valuables. On the Mary Celeste, expensive belongings and the entire payload were left untouched. A mutiny leaves physical evidence: broken doors, blood, or damaged rigging. Investigators scoured the Mary Celeste and found not a single sign of a struggle anywhere on the immaculate decks or in the cabins. With human attackers ruled out by the physical state of the ship, the threat that drove 10 people into the freezing Atlantic was likely something entirely unseen. To find the answer, investigators had to look past the empty cabins and go deep into the sealed cargo hold beneath the crew's feet. The Mary Celeste was transporting a massive, highly volatile payload. Packed tightly into the lower decks were 1,701 heavy wooden barrels of industrial alcohol. Almost all of those barrels were completely full, but when inspectors checked the inventory, they found exactly 9 barrels that were bone dry. The alcohol wasn't stolen, and the barrels weren't broken open. Those specific 9 barrels were built from a more porous type of wood. Over weeks under the hot Atlantic sun, the liquid alcohol seeped through the wood and evaporated into the hold. These specific barrels provide a physical explanation for the sudden abandonment, grounded in the volatile nature of the cargo itself. Instead of leaking as a liquid, the escaped alcohol turned into a highly flammable vapor. Day after day, that gas steadily collected inside the dark, unventilated hold. There was no smoke and no distinct smell. The crew above deck had no warning that they were standing on top of an invisible, combustible cloud. All it required was a single spark. A dropped metal tool, friction from iron bands, or shifting in the waves. That tiny spark triggers a pressure wave explosion. The accumulated vapor ignites instantly, creating a massive flash of blue fire that violently blows the heavy wooden hatch off the deck. And then it's gone. The loose vapor burns rapidly, leaving no lingering fire to scorch the hull. This explains the central paradox. A terrifying fireball could erupt from the center of the ship and leave absolutely zero physical evidence behind. Imagine standing on that deck. A column of blue fire has just exploded from right beneath your feet. You are standing directly over 1,700 barrels of explosive fluid, and you have no way of knowing if the next spark will blow the ship apart. The captain executes a logical survival protocol. He orders his family and the crew into the single lifeboat, tethering it to the back of the Mary Celeste. The plan is to wait at a safe distance until the explosive fumes clear. Then the weather turns. A sudden gust of wind violently fills the sails of the massive merchant ship. It lurches forward. The immense strain transfers to the tether holding the small lifeboat, and the rope snaps. The crew can only watch as their perfectly intact ship rapidly pulls away, leaving them stranded in a tiny wooden boat in the middle of the freezing ocean. A calculated survival decision turned into a tragedy of bad timing. The crew sought safety from an invisible threat, inadvertently marooning themselves while their ship sailed safely into history alone.